There are strange things done in the midnight sun by the men whom oil or gold. Oh, the Arctic trails have their secret tales that would make your blood run cold. Now the northern lights, they have seen queer sights, but the queerest they ever did see was the night on the march of Lake Lebarge. I cremated Sam McGee. Now, Sam McGee was from Tennessee, where the cotton blooms and blows. Why he ever left his home in the south to roam around the pole, God only knows. He was always cold. But the land of gold seemed to hold him like a spell. But we'd often say in his homely way that he'd sooner live in hell. Now, on Christmas Day, we were mushing our way over Dawson Trail. Talk of your cold, through the Parker's stab, through the Parker's fold that stabbed like a driven nail. And if our eyes we'd close, then the lashes froze, so sometimes we couldn't see. It wasn't much fun, but the only one to whimper was Sam McGee. And that same night, as we laid packed tight in our robes beneath the snow, and the dogs were fed and the stars overhead were dancing heel and toe, he turns to me and, "Cap," says he, "I'll catch you this trip, I guess. And if I do, I'm asking that you won't refuse my last request." Well, he seemed so low, I couldn't say no. Then he says with a sort of moan, "It's the cursed cold, and it's got right hold till I'm chilled clean through to the bone. Yet, 'tain't being dead. It's my awful dread of the icy grave that pains. So I want you to swear that foul or fair, you'll cremate my last remains." Now, pal's last thing is a need. Now, a pal's last need is a thing to heed, and I swore I would not fail. And we started out at the streak of dawn, but oh, he looked ghastly pale. He crouched in his sleigh, and he raved all day of his home in Tennessee. And before nightfall, a corpse is all that was left of Sam McGee. There wasn't a breath in that land of death. And I hurried, horror-driven, with a corpse half hid that I couldn't get rid because of a promise given. It was lashed to the sleigh, and it seemed to say, "You may tax your brawn and brains, but your promise true, and it's up to you to cremate those last remains." Now, a promise made is a debt unpaid, and the trail has its own stern code. In the days to come, though my lips were dumb, in my heart, how I cursed that road. In the long, long night, by the lone firelight, while the huskies round in a ring howled out their woes to the homeless snows. Oh, how I loathed the thing. And every day that quiet clay seemed to heavier and heavier grow. But on I went. Though the dogs were spent and the grub was getting low, the trail was bad, and I felt half mad. But I swore I would not give in, and it had often hearkened with a grin. Till I came to the marge of Lake Lebarge, and there a derelict lay. It was jammed in the ice, and I saw in a thrice it was called the Alice May. I looked at it, and then I thought a bit, and then I looked at my frozen chum. Then here, said I with a sudden cry, is my crematorium. Some planks I tore from the cabin floor, and I lit the boiler fire. Some coal I found that was lying around, and I heaped the fuel higher. The flames just soared. The furnace roared. Such a blaze you seldom see. And I burrowed a hole in the glowing coal, and I shoved in Sam McGee. And then I made a hike, where I didn't like to hear him sizzle so. And the heavens scowled, and the huskies howled, and the wind began to blow. It was icy cold, but the hot sweat rolled down my cheeks, and I don't know why. And the greasy smoke in an inky cloak went streaking down the sky. I don't know how long in the snow I wrestled with grisly fear, but the stars came out and danced about ere again I ventured near. I was sick with dread, but I bravely said, I'll just take a peep inside. I guess he's cooked. And it's time I looked. And then the door I opened wide. And there sat Sam, looking cool and calm in the heart of the furnace roar. And he wore a smile that you could see a mile. And he said, please close that door. It's fine in here, but I greatly fear you will let in the cold and storm. Since I left Plumtree down in Tennessee, it's the first time I've been warm. There are strange things done in the midnight sun by the men who moil for gold. The Arctic trails have their secret tales that would make your blood run cold. Now the northern lights, they have seen queer sights, but the queerest they ever did see was the night on the march of Lake Lebarge. I